Make sure you don't miss a thing. Go to starzology.com/newsletter and sign up. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hello, Alison. It's great to be here.
So nice to have you once more. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Chiron entering Taurus.
Yes, this is a big one.
It is. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be the last time it happens really in our lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So Chiron's going to be leaving Aries and entering Taurus. And this is particularly what we're going to be talking about today. And it's happening. I'm not sure. I've got the date somewhere. We'll get to that. And but in general, Chiron themes.
Yeah. Chiron is the wounded healer.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is about where you have pain and trauma, as the millennials would say.
Yes.
But you are able to turn that around and use that to help others. It's like the sort of cliche about the former gang member who led a life of crime and then goes on to redeem himself by teaching kids to, the scared straight sort of thing, and teaching, kids not to.
Like the alcoholics too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So wherever you have been wounded and have, because scar tissue is one of those things that it's physically actual scar tissue. If you cut yourself or are somehow maimed,
yes,
that actual flesh is stronger and more
thicker,
rigid. And, yeah, exactly. So it is like scar tissue, very much in the sense that it is stronger, but you are then able to help others to avoid those pitfalls or to work through those things.
Yeah.
So if you have Chiron, and this also has to do with the house placement for sure, because Chiron takes 50 years to go all the way around the zodiac. That's why, traditionally, not traditionally, but famously, when you're 50, you have your Chiron return.
You do. And you recently had yours a couple of years ago?
Did,
yes. We did speak about that, I think, didn't we? I'll put a link to that episode.
Yeah. It's a really interesting topic. I mean, we all have heard about the Saturn return. That happens around the age of 30 and again around 58. But yeah, that Chiron return.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Because no matter... Chiron's going to take 50 years, no matter, even if because it goes slower through Aries and faster through Libra, but it still takes 50 years to get round.
Yeah.
And so this is what we were saying, that they say up until your age 50, you are the protege.
Right.
But after age 50, when you've had your Chiron return, you are then the mentor.
Yes, and
this is what you were saying.
That is so Chiron, especially for women, because you...
Yes.
With the received traditional thing with society, and you're supposed to be this and that, and there are these roles for women. Even now, I think even now, women are asked like, "Oh, do you want to have children?" Or why don't you? Blah blah blah. And then once you're 50, that ship has sailed.
That's
for the most
menopause.
Part. Yeah, menopause, exactly. And people stop asking that, and then it's just, what do you do? What are you interested in? What's your deal?
Yes.
And it's not about who you are with or who you have given birth to or whatever. It's who you've made of yourself. And
or they don't ask at all because you're invisible.
Well, that too. Yeah, that too. I had the most interesting experience. I was at an outdoor rave, and we can, whatever. I was at an outdoor rave the other day. Dancing my face off, and this lovely gentleman came up to me and told me that I reminded him of Cyndi Lauper.
Whoa!
Which I was like, thank you. That's fantastic. What? Talk about icons. And then, because he was of a certain age as well, I told him that I actually saw her in concert back in the late 80s.
Wow.
Yes, when I was but a young tween. And that was, that was fantastic. But that's one of those wonderful things about being older. You can kind of go, cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I think women used to be like, oh, well, I will never talk about my age. One doesn't, reveal her age, whatever. My grandmother, oh my God, she would never talk about her age. And it was, she wouldn't let anyone else tell anyone how old she was.
Well, you get discriminated against. That's why.
I mean, even now, of course, you're supposed to, sort of hide it on your resume and, take away years after like 15 years ago. It's like, just gloss over that and kind of, whatever. But yeah, there is something great that comes with being of a certain age. And that is that Chiron thing of you've
an elder.
You've reached mastery of certain things. I mean, my gosh, Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all about firm skin and
No.
whatever.
Non-psychic whatnots.
Yeah.
There is an astrologer in Toronto. Sorry, her name, Julie Simmons.
Oh.
So Julie, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. It's Julie somebody, and she runs a group called the Elders, and you have to have had your Chiron return to be a member of this group.
Nice.
And when I was still in Toronto, I hadn't quite got there, and I couldn't join this group. And I thought, what's all this inner circle women stuff?
Yeah.
And then eventually, of course, you do get your Chiron return. Suddenly, you are in that group. You are the Elder.
Nice.
And
awesome.
But astrologically, it's quite a marker of age. It's one of those lifestyle transits that you get the Chiron return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Not to be. I'm such a Virgo. My friend every once in a while, she'll be like, "Oh, I'm just out of sorts. It's that time of the month," and I'll be like, "Are we still doing that? Why?"
Wow. Well, there you are. You see that too.
Oh, geez. I'm like, well, that sucks for you.
Well, this is it. What it takes to be a woman, hey?
My goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So getting back to Chiron,
yeah. Yes.
So what's going to be happening is I've got a few dates here,
Nice.
and let me just give them to you, because why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is Chiron's going to leave Aries and it's going to enter Taurus. So on April the 10th, 2026, Chiron entered the pre-shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You need to follow along because it's going to retrograde here. Then on June the 19th, Chiron enters Taurus. It then stations retrograde on August the 2nd at 051 Taurus. So it's just snuck in. It's going to retrograde, and then it will still retrograde. It will then go back into Aries in September on the 18th, 2026. So it's going to go back into Aries. And then in 2027, it will station direct on January the 6th at 26 Aries. So it's going back all the way to 26 Aries. Then it will, moving forward in 2027, it will re-enter Taurus for the final time on April the 14th. So almost a year from when it first enters.
Mm-hmm.
It will then go back into Taurus for the final time. So it won't go back into Aries in our lifetime. And then Chiron finally clears the after shadow on May the 15th, 2027.
Mm-hmm.
So Chiron's going from Aries into Taurus, retrograding, going back into Aries, but it's only doing it once.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they do it twice, but it's only doing it once this time.
Yeah.
And then it's clean sailing straight through Taurus.
Yeah, and it'll be there until 2034 with a tiny retrograde period in 2033.
Yeah, I've got it. In August 2033, it moves into Gemini for the first time. But again, double retrograde. Yeah. Chiron always retrogrades, but sometimes it does it twice. So
yeah. It'll go into it'll retrograde back in October, and then it'll finally go into Gemini in May of 20.
So this is interesting because it's going to be in Taurus for we'll call it 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that would make it similar to a Uranus.
I know, right? When you look at it, you realize that that's what's happening.
But the reason it's so different is because it's got a very elliptical orbit.
Yes,
and it stayed in Aries for quite a bit longer.
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah. So
it doesn't stay in each sign for the same amount, such as 7 years for Taurus. And I don't have the Aries numbers at my fingertips, but it definitely has, because it's therefore elliptical, and it spends more time in some of the signs and less time in other signs.
Yeah, like similar to Pluto. Pluto spends about 12 years in Scorpio, and it spends almost, I think, 28 to 30 years in Taurus. So very, very elliptical.
That's why, because when Pluto went through Scorpio, which is lickety-split going through there, but it still made all that upheaval while it was doing it.
Right. So Chiron, okay, here we go. Just a little tiny bit of Chiron lesson here. It can spend as much as 7 or 8 years in Pisces and Aries, and only about 2 or even less in Virgo and Libra. So that's the small end of the cycle, and we are at the bigger end of that cycle.
So what that means is more of the population has Chiron in one sign that does in another.
Oh yeah, like twice as much.
So which sign is your Chiron?
Mine's in Aries.
Aries. Okay, so it's long. So there's many, many people with Chiron and Aries, and I've got it in Aquarius. So
it's still at the
So you can't always tell. You have to look, or get your astrologer to check it out for you. Or if you're listening to this, we assume you are an astrologer. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's not one of those ones where you just know off the top of your head.
No,
you kind of count
you
back.
can't. You can't just say, "Oh, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
You've got to then work it out. But the point being that Chiron's making a monster shift.
Yeah.
It's the biggest shift of planetary energy because Chiron's further out than the Jupiter in Leo shift for 2026.
Yeah.
So this is why we're dedicating a whole episode to Chiron into Taurus.
And it's one of the few planets that is moving into an Earth sign of the white, the farther out.
Of the big, the heavy hitters.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So there's a lot of air and a lot of fire going on this year, but this is one
Chiron's
of
going into
Taurus.
It's finally leaving Aries behind and moving into Taurus.
Yeah.
So do we have some themes about Chiron in Taurus?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, just a moment.
Yeah.
So as Chiron spends its time in Taurus, Arwynne, what sort of things could we anticipate?
Well, yeah, and I would like to actually just do a little hearkening back to Chiron and Aries, just to give kind of a baseline.
Okay.
Because we've talked about Chiron and Aries a bunch. We talked about the Chiron return in Aries. We talked about just what it is in, I think we did a Chiron episode that was heavily flavored with Aries, because why wouldn't we? And Aries, of course, is the sign of the me kind of. It's about the ego, and it's about the head, and it's about being yourself, and that wounded ego, for lack of a better way of saying it. So now that Chiron is going to be moving into Taurus, Taurus is all about our self-worth, our personal belongings, our feeling of comfort, our feeling of self-esteem, and our feeling of security. And that it has to do with our health, but also our money and our feeling
of markets.
Our feeling of personal stability. We've talked in the past about how much Taurus has to do with the stock market. I mean, it's the symbol of it is a bull, for God's sake, a golden bull.
Yes. Taurus. Yeah.
I mean, when I went to New York the first time, I couldn't believe all these people rubbing up against the bull at Wall Street. How crazy and pagan of a ritual is this, that everybody has to go to New York and touch the bull?
Well, they've got one down at the Park Casino, right? A massive bull statue.
Yeah, well, you don't see people groping that one, but it's a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's definitely going to be affecting currencies and the money markets.
Indeed, yeah. So on a personal level, it will be about your feeling of are you worthwhile? What is your sense of personal worth? Does that come from your bank account? Does that come from how you look? How
many likes you get?
How many likes you have? Exactly. What is it that you are? Because Chiron has to do with the fear of the trauma of losing out, or of being left wanting, or somehow not measuring
not good enough.
Not good enough, exactly. And that comes right up against its opposite of Taurian indulgence and luxury, and that feeling of wanting everyone to think that you are polished, and that you're doing well, and that you are comfortable. And being just even comfortable in your own skin, which for some people, many people, is difficult. And it has nothing to do with whether you are, appearing on Instagram with, in front of a mansion and a beautiful car, and, your kids are always perfectly groomed and your husband is attractive and blah, blah, blah. No, for some people, just even walking out of their apartment or being on a Zoom call, it's just
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So that is very much about that Taurian need for security of bodily security. It's not just it's about food security.
Yes,
it's about financial security, but it's also about the security of just feeling comfortable in your own body, and just living in the world, and feeling like you're worthwhile.
Yeah, because Chiron is the planet that is related to imposter syndrome, where you feel, I'm not worthy, and yet here I am with all this stuff. Yeah. Or I'm not worthy, and yet I've got this great job. Or I'm not worthy, and I've got this lovely wife.
Right. Yeah, and people are going to find out that I'm not worthy.
Yes, and they're going to find out that I shouldn't be in the room. And Michelle Obama used to have a lot to say about, you are welcome in the room. Yeah. But so there is that, and it might be as we move, because it has to do with the money markets and your net worth.
Yeah.
is going to be considered during these 7 years, and your relationship to it. And clearly your FICO score, if you bother about these things, but having money in the bank is definitely going to be a thing. And it's going to, I reckon it's going to be more or less a cyber currency, which was when Uranus went through there. Yeah. It's now going to be about, well, you know, how much, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep, you know, rather than, yes, I earn 250,000 a year, but how much do you actually have in the bank? And that's going to come through now with Chiron.
And how much debt do you have? Like you may have this salary, but if maybe it's going, you know, most of it is going to pay off debts or your ridiculous rent or your mortgage that you can't afford, and you were sort of roped into thinking that you needed to own something, or you had
this is going to rain debt down.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you say that market-wise, that people are going to stop carrying so much debt during this Chiron in Taurus period, whereas when Uranus was there, it was
and at a human level, you'd think, well, that's great because debt is, no one likes debt, right? But for the money markets, that's a tragedy. Oh, people are going to be carrying less debt. That's a catastrophe from the, you know, the puppet master's standpoint, right? Like,
yes, because if you don't pay for your visa every month, they're making money out of you, and that's really how it works.
They don't want you to pay anything off. They just want you to pay a little bit every month so that they know that their salaries are secure.
Yes.
And it's not just, I mean, because Taurus has to do with money markets, and money markets is very complicated these days. It's not just about like salaries and whatnot. There's this entire machinations of the stock market and also the gambling, like institutionalized gambling, which is huge. I know I've talked about this before, but I've got a lot of friends who are into to sports because whatever, like I know lots of people and there is an insane amount of people who are addicted basically to these microtransaction sports bets. Like
really
on literally anything. And, you know, I know lots of hockey fans or whatever, but it's not just like these people are not just watching hockey and like betting that this team will lose or this team will win. There's little tiny bets going on every period with like, will the team score, you know, between 0 and 5 goals in the first period? Will someone drop their stick?
And you can bet on this.
Good grief. Will someone on this team be injured? And if so, is it going to be like a head injury? Is it going to be like literally they will bet on anything. They'll bet on certain players getting a penalty or whether goals will be scored during a, you know, whatever kind of penalty, like a 2-minute thing where the one team has one more guy than the other and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like all of these things. And it's addictive, but it's also a business. It's an incredibly huge business that gets people hooked into, like once you're on the app, you're basically, they have your credit card and you're just like, you're making all these little micro bets. Oh, it's just $1 here. It's just a couple dollars here. No big deal. But if you're doing it every day and you're doing it every time there's a game, and then you kind of branch out to like, oh, well, that hockey season's over. Now I'm into basketball. Now I'm into baseball. Now I'm into, you know, whatever. Yeah.
So as Chiron goes into Taurus, there's going to be an adjustment here, surely.
I think so. It can't help but. I mean,
yes,
it's just any kind of bubble is going to explode or have some sort of correction at some point.
Yes.
And so, I mean, we've got the next 7 years to see a correction, but I definitely see that becoming an insane bubble.
Yes.
The micro bet.
Wow.
Bubble.
Well, this is, I didn't know about that. Yeah. And then let's face it, if you are a Taurian and you've got your sun in Taurus, you're going to get a Chiron conjunction to your sun.
Yeah.
And that will trigger these issues that we're talking about.
For sure. Yeah. These different feelings of your values and your sense of being
self-worth
and self-love versus, you know.
Are you enough? Yes, you are. We have to say that, right?
100%,
yeah. If you are a returning listener and enjoying the Starzology podcast, supporting the show is always appreciated. It helps us continue producing episodes and covers the costs involved in keeping the podcast online. There's a link in the show notes.
Yeah, the fear of scarcity, the fear of income inequality or food scarcity and we're
all battling with it.
Yeah. And I mean, gas prices are insane. Grocery prices are insane because of all these wars that are happening right now.
Yes.
And I think it's safe, like we're recording this a couple of weeks in advance, but I think it's safe to say it'll be probably the same, if not worse.
Flights are going up. Flights are being
my
cancelled.
gosh. Yeah. Airlines are going out of business.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, who's to say that it was sustainable to have just air travel be as common as driving a car? Like maybe that wasn't sustainable. Maybe
in.
that, But at the same time, if you want to go on vacation, it sucks for you.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm going to Toronto in September, and when I first looked at the flights, they were $350 there and back, and I thought, oh, that's no problem.
Yeah.
But when I got around to booking them, which was just recently, like 10 days ago, I hit $900, but what are you going to do?
OMG.
And so I had to make a commitment because I thought maybe it'll be 18 next month.
Yeah.
And you don't know.
Right.
But
yeah.
So this Chiron is, I can't remember what date we said it was. It's moving on is it the 14th?
Yeah. June,
I think so.
June 19th.
June 19th. Yeah. So, things will change then. The markets are going to have an adjustment. There is no question about it.
Yeah.
And it has to, not that I know much about the stock exchange, but it will stabilize.
Yeah.
Interest rates should go down and it should stabilize, but it will tighten the market once it comes out of Aries, for sure. Yeah.
Very interesting. One more aspect of Taurus that I want to talk about is the association with beauty and comfort and physical accoutrements, like things that you, especially women, but I mean, obviously men too, when men groom themselves and they take care of themselves, and manscaping and all that. But the skin,
Max looks
maxing. Yeah. Right. Oh my God. It's so ridiculous. And yes, exactly. And you see these, and I feel for the young. I do. I lived through the 80s, and we wore blush and foundation and the 7 different colors of eyeshadow. And we had all these eyeshadow palettes that have the different colors and you had to match them and blah, blah, blah. And like we had different colors of mascara that you'd wear to coordinate with your outfits. And God forbid, the shoulder pads and the hairspray and the perms and all that stuff. I love a good perm, but anyway, I'm not criticizing the young, but we've gone through a few decades now of minimal makeup. We stopped wearing, hosiery constantly.
I'll never go back to that. Yeah.
No, exactly. But I've seen all these influencers on Instagram and, God forbid TikTok, but they wear so much makeup. It's insane. Like the number of products they put on their skin. It's like 20 to 30 different products that they're piling onto their skin. And I know a couple of young women who, I hug them and I come away and I smell like their perfume for the next hour or two. They smell nice. Don't get me wrong. But, and I touch their face, I'll hug them and my skin will press up against them and I will come away with their shade of foundation on my skin. And it's like, they look fantastic, but it's just like they're a work of art. And these are beautiful young women in their 20s who I can't imagine their skin isn't flawless to begin with, but just
it's as good as it's ever going to be at that age.
Right. Yeah. And they're just piling so much stuff on. And I see that this is ripe for an overcorrection is what I'm saying, because we've got all of the diet drugs, the Ozempic and all this stuff now we've talked about Ozempic in the past, and it's definitely a thing. And there's going to be an overcorrection when people realize all the side effects that are it's inevitable. Movies coming out like The Substance with Demi Moore that came out last year with the sort of cult of youth and the what are you willing to sacrifice to be youthful, and there's this new show called The Beauty that's on FX. It's based on a comic book that I read, which is really fascinating. It's basically beauty as a sexually transmitted disease, and it's a beauty treatment that got out. It sort of escaped the lab, like the lab leak, theory of this beauty drug that escaped and then became sexually transmitted. So now there's these people who are running around, transferring it to people willingly. Wow. And it's got this terrible side effect where, if you're not, using the booster shots or whatever, you will literally spontaneously combust.
Oh, wow.
so it's like you have 2 years of you're devastatingly beautiful and youthful, but then you overheat and explode. So anyway, Chiron and Taurus,
Stabilizing it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Or
Mm.
somehow it has to, it can't just continue to it's like a bubble, the beauty treatment bubble.
You see, because Taurus is also a earth sign, and this is
Yeah.
where you have the grounding people, where you're
Right.
standing barefoot on the earth,
Yeah.
where you're in touch with the vibe of the earth.
Yes.
And we're going back to nature,
Yeah.
using natural colors, natural foundations,
Yeah.
natural products
Yeah.
that we would have done 300,000 years ago,
Yeah,
not
the
30 years
Egyptians
ago.
using the kohl on their eyeliner,
Yeah.
the eyeliner and so we've always been interested in beauty, but there's been cycles of excess and
Indeed.
cycles of minimalism.
Indeed.
And we're going through an extreme excess phase at the moment.
Well, this is the Aries. It's in your face.
Right. Yeah.
Let's grab another whatever.
Me. Look at me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's definitely going to be an adjustment there as well. I think so. That
Yeah.
the value that we put on things will shift
Yeah.
to more. You're in tune.
Right. And I mean, with
Your
Chiron and
natural
Aries,
color.
part of the Chiron and Aries thing was the lack of trust in major institutions. So you'd find all of this, sort of splintering of all of the, the major. Oh, we don't trust, L'Oreal anymore. But now we're going to like some, Korean manufacturer of some cosmetic thing, which we don't know what's in it. We can't read the ingredients, and then it's got these terrible side effects, and you don't know like why you're suddenly, your liver is about to explode, and
I do think there will be a shift back to more natural, because it is Taurus, natural earth, natural colors.
Yeah.
Fashion wise, of course, for 7 years, that's going to tone it back to tweeds, linens, and natural fabrics, rather than who knows what's in your fabric, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to have a look at each person's ascendant sign and what this means, this Chiron into Taurus, what this means for each ascendant is one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And I've just got some ideas. I'm just going to read some of my thoughts here for each ascendant sign.
Sure.
Yeah. So for Aries ascendant, so that's anyone who's got Aries on the ascendant, Aries would be rising.
And that means that Chiron will be now in their second house.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So as Chiron goes through your second house, it can suggest you have a gift for managing money, hopefully. You may give more, and you may be the recipient of support from others by them gifting you a position to earn some money too. This is a time for not really being paid what you're worth. It also indicates you somehow find healing in your self-esteem. Because it's Chiron, it's not just going to dish it out to you.
Right.
So I don't know anyone with an Aries ascendant off the top of my head, but you might have some people in your circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Taurus ascendant people. So if you have a Taurus ascendant, you become aware of your personal weaknesses when Chiron enters your first house.
Right.
This can be a sign for self-improvement on many levels. At this time, you are your own best teacher, and you may discover what you really need in your life, because Chiron is the teacher as well, right? That was his myth, that he was the teacher.
Yeah.
So you become because when you've got a Taurus ascendant, it means Chiron's crossing your ascendant, entering your first house, your person, your physical strength. Yeah.
And of course, if you do have one of these ascendants, make sure to look at the actual degree.
Yes.
Because what we're saying, you might have Taurus at 26 degrees or something. So your mileage may vary, but yeah, just look at your actual degree, because we don't use full sign houses in this. We use Placidus houses.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Gemini ascendants.
Yeah.
If you have a Gemini ascendant, as Chiron enters your 12th house, is a time for quiet contemplation. You may spend peaceful times and help your dark side, whatever that is.
Yeah.
If you have secret problems like addictions, you can address them now. This is the time to heal your inner self, which could simply mean getting more sleep so you can face the day.
Yeah.
Prayer and meditation will help calm you now.
Yeah. It's a time to be maybe a little bit away from this,
the hub and bum.
Yeah. Yeah. Take a little social media siesta, or do things behind the scenes for a bit. And,
I know.
And come out, emerge renewed.
Exactly.
Be like, what have you done? Have you gone to a spa? You look
yes.
healthy and calm.
Wow.
Yeah.
If only they'd say that. Yes.
Where have you been?
I know. Okay, so Cancer ascendants. If you have a Cancer ascendant, then transit of Chiron will enter your 11th house and bring friends that need help. You may be asked to assist your friends and associates, which you are happy to do, and rightly so, as this is the time for you to give this type of aid.
Yeah.
Make sure you do not become their doormat, as at this time you can do more for them than is actually helpful. Becoming your friend's enabler will not help them in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of those things where if you see yourself as someone who is nurturing and helpful, and
which
maybe,
Cancer ascendants do.
Exactly. And you think of yourself as the den mother to your friends, this might be something where your self-worth is bound up in you seeing yourself in this role. And you have to come to a sort of a self-assessment and a reevaluation of how helpful you really are. Maybe you're just enabling them, or maybe you're keeping them in a position of being beholden to you, and it's to their detriment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because generally the Cancer ascendant is the woman in the office who brings in the muffins. She bakes them and brings them in because she's the office mother.
Right.
And she does it because she's being helpful, but friends and associates, which is people you work with, would be 11th house, and they may not necessarily want to be eating all that extra carbs or sugars or whatever the thing is.
Right.
But you're still enabling.
Yeah.
So, tricky.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Leo ascendants. I'll put my hand up to this one.
All right.
If you have a Leo ascendant, promotion that happens under a Chiron transit of the 10th house can be a two-edged sword.
Ooh.
You are glad of the opportunities, but the reality of the extra responsibility and what is required of you may make you feel overwhelmed.
What?
Gosh, me. You can suffer from imposter syndrome, where you can't believe that someone is paying you to do the job because you like it so much. And can that be right?
That's a good problem to have.
Or can it? And this is the thing. And I do see this. And, well, of course, we're not there yet. But when we get to mid-June, and this occurs when Chiron does enter my 10th house, it's definitely a theme to consider, that although, because it's 10th house, it's promotion and public domain and acknowledgement and recognition, there is another, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That suddenly you have to be the performing seal and do these things and do those things, whereas previously you were, incognito.
Behind the scenes, yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah, so that's a tricky one, but
You want to be known for the thing that you love to do, but then suddenly when you're known for it, it's like, oh, well, you're the expert now.
I know.
You got to make sure everything's right.
You're suddenly overbooked. Good grief. And it is time consuming. It is.
Yeah.
Virgo ascendants. If you have a Virgo ascendant, this is the perfect time to start an adult education program or go back to college. You are open to knowledge and will find a great teacher now.
Yes.
Religion and philosophy may become one of your study areas. Travel to areas where you can help other people, such as teaching, aiding, or educating people, is good now.
Yeah. And especially since we're talking about Chiron in Taurus, it might have something to do with the earth or something to do with natural
rewilding a river or putting beavers back or something.
Planting something or natural cosmetics or some kind of natural products that prevent, using chemicals in
it's like
area.
They're demolishing dams now that we've been there since the 70s.
Right.
And they're removing them because it's really impacted the ecology. And this is probably going to
healthy waterways.
Yes.
That's a huge thing in Vancouver too, because all of our major streets are actually based on old waterways.
Right.
And there's this all these different plans to sort of help rewild certain areas of our
big
waterways. And,
Well, at the bus stop I stand at frequently late at night, there's this family of raccoons which I've come to notice live there. And previously I used to lean against the fence, but then I realized, what's that noise? And then now I stand right on the curb. So when this family comes through, and they do, I can step into the traffic to avoid the raccoons, because there's no way I'm getting bitten by a raccoon.
No.
But we have taken over their natural paths
we totally
as
have.
nocturnal animals, and they're crossing McDonald's, which is
where else are they going to go? This is and I mean, anyone who has YouTube has probably seen that there's all these videos of whales attacking ships, or different animals attacking that normally wouldn't. And it's simply because we've given them nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And we have taken over every little scrap of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to provide areas. Rewilding, I think, is the word they use.
For sure. So when I first moved to Vancouver, which was in the late 90s, mid 90s actually, I was walking home, and I had a coworker with me. We were coming back to my apartment, and it was a roommate. Anyway, whatever, it didn't matter. I was walking with someone who was like a friend who was from Vancouver, and a little raccoon was walking across the courtyard of my building, my new home. And I was like, oh my God, cute. I had a couple of drinks, right? So I might have appeared to be lunging toward it. I would never actually lunge towards a wild animal. Let's get that straight. But my friend was like, just physically restraining me, like, don't corner it. I'm like, why would I corner it? What? And literally, there's a lot of raccoons downtown in Vancouver. And that was like only the first of many times that I've been said, oh, you don't want to corner it. I'm like, who's cornering raccoons? Like, where is this coming from? I got this advice so many times in the first year I lived here. It's hilarious.
But you never see one. There's always a group. They run in packs.
When you do see one, then you will see the mother and the, but frequently they'll have the smaller one walk first, strangely. And then the, next one and next and next and next. And then the mother is like, and you don't want to be in the way of that.
No, you don't want to. No, that would finish you off.
Yeah, it's funny though. We were one time during COVID, strangely enough, we were having pizza in our car with a couple of friends, and we were parked by a park. And I guess it got chilly, and we sort of had, we had a picnic, and then we went to the car. And my partner got out to throw the boxes away in the garbage, and we saw him we're watching out the window, and saw him physically do like a little cat pounce backwards after putting something in the garbage, just leapt back 5 feet. We're like, what happened? And he was like, he opened the thing, and there's literally a raccoon just popped out like a little, groundhog with his little hands just waiting for, whatever scraps were.
I know. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh, they're so cute though, with their little bandito masks and their little fingers.
Yeah. No,
I wouldn't want to corner one.
This episode is brought to you by New Moon Wishing, a self-care guidebook for wishful thinkers. Please see the link in the show notes. Oh, no. It's just not worth the bother. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They are adorable though. Yeah. Rewilding. Yep.
Rewilding.
That's a good Chiron and Taurus word.
Okay, so Libra ascendant. Yeah. So if you've got a Libra ascendant, then Chiron, as Chiron passes through your 8th house, you may become aware of your own mortality and frailness. This is an excellent time to get therapy or rehabilitation for yourself. It's a good time for psychoanalysis, as you are eager to learn from a good teacher. Yeah. During this period, you could take too much and take it for granted from your partner, like money, food, or emotional demands. So that's a tricky thing there.
Yeah.
Make sure to give support to any joint and shared resources,
right,
and not just take.
Yeah. I see that also as being maybe people who think that their self-worth is wrapped very much up in their being self-sufficient, or they're being healthy, or they're being active, and maybe Chiron and Taurus that is going to, you have to be careful. You have to be more thoughtful about taking care of your health, and not just assuming that you can do all these things that you've always done.
Yeah. And
because then you might become beholden to your partner, or helpless, and God forbid that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah. Scorpio ascendant.
Ooh, that's me.
This is Arwynne. If you have a Scorpio ascendant, then when Chiron enters your 7th house, your partner may need your help. Mm-hmm. It is the time to see the cracks in your relationship and try to patch them up.
Okay.
New relationships started at this time will be a learning process for you. Mm. You may meet a potential partner who becomes a burden to you. Mm. It's a tricky one, and I'm sorry to have said all this, but Chiron means that the partner in the 7th house, your partner is becoming weak and needs your support. And it might be a passing thing. They may I don't want to say they're going to get ill, but it really is typically, if it's in a natal chart, Chiron in the 7th is an indicator that you marry someone who needs your help, or someone who is in a wheelchair or needs attention.
Right.
And so there may be many ways that this is expressed typically, or on the positive side, we could also say that your partner becomes a teacher for you, although you might it. But it's not going to be easy wherever
who with a Scorpio ascendant likes to be lectured.
Yes. And but there might be because it's the teacher and the guide, but it's also your weakness. Mm-hmm. So the business of leaning too heavily on them cracks things. So
interesting.
Yeah. And then Sagittarius ascendant. Mm-hmm. So if you have a Sagittarius ascendant, this is the perfect time to take a refresher course in your industry and find a mentor at work.
Oh, nice.
You are likely to find advisors in the job market now. These people may be recruiters or peers. It does depend. And if you are over 50, you can become a mentor to a younger protege, which is what I said, because it's in your 6th house.
Yeah.
So it's your day-to-day. It's going to be your guide, your helper. But because it's Chiron, you're not going to be thrilled. You're going to be saying, I really need to do all those reps? Or if it's your gym person or whomever, your doctor.
If it's a work thing, it might not be associated with the promotion at all. It might just be like, now you are responsible for all of these interns.
Just take one for the team.
Yeah,
take another one for the team.
You're not going to get paid more. You're not going to
but you've got a job
title, but you are now responsible for all these other people who,
are difficult.
Maybe they're...
Yes.
I listened to this, or I watched this this Instagram. It's a millennial woman who has all these Gen Z employees, and she is constantly talking about these lessons of working with Gen Z, and it's quite funny. But yes, it is
I know
the struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Wow.
We love our Gen Z. Don't get us wrong.
We do.
Yeah.
Capricorn ascendant. So if you have a Capricorn ascendant, then transit of Chiron will be in your 5th house. And this suggests that you may acknowledge your children's imperfections for the first time. This also indicates that your children may take advantage of your weaknesses because you love them. And you may overindulge your children now, which may not be good for them. So if you've got adult children and they are saying, hey, Ma, I think you sell the house and do a reverse mortgage and give us the money now because you're going to be dead in 10 years. I'd rather have it now. I'm saying don't do it. I'm saying live your life. Yeah. You do not do. But if you have this Capricorn ascendant, you've got Chiron entering your 5th house, which is your children are, I don't want to say bleeding you dry, but they are become a burden. They may need help. They may need healing. And it will take a lot from you to attend to this because we are hardwired to give to the kids.
Right.
But you have to look after yourself first.
Yes. And also looking after them, because if you are no longer there in 10 years, as if that's actually true, you don't want them to be dependent in a way that then will be worse for them.
Yes. Don't enable. This is one of Chiron's messages. Stop enabling people.
Totally. Give them teach them to fish as opposed to giving them a fish.
That's right.
Whatever it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. And then we have Aquarius ascendant. So if you have an Aquarius ascendant, then transit of Chiron in the 4th house suggests that you will discover weaknesses in your family and home. This could indicate that you can address any problems and become a person that your family can turn to in times of their need. You are seen as the family counselor. Okay, then.
Yeah.
But there might be cracks in the foundation. It's going to be the physical building as well as your family's issues.
Right.
And again, decide who you're going to be.
Yeah.
Are you going to enable Aunt Agatha to argue with Joe, cousin Mary or something?
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. Don't be an enabler.
Yeah. And I imagine with a Aquarius rising, that might be, you might be tempted to just ghost them entirely.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Pisces ascendant. So if you have a Pisces ascendant, as Chiron passes through your 3rd house, it can suggest that you are happy to teach others in your neighborhood. This could be the local kids or the people in your immediate surroundings. You may find a thought leader now and enjoy their teachings. This is 3rd house. So maybe you're going to go down to the local guild guides and give a lesson about, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Cooking or how to tie a knot or put up a tent or something.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be major issues.
No, and it's interesting. We live in a very active city, especially in the summer. It's very outdoorsy.
Yes.
I was out skating actually today, and some gentleman on rollerblades with a nice friendly dog came up to me, and I was on my skates, and then he's like, "Hey, you skate around here?" And I was like, "Yeah, blah blah." And we're talking about skating, and he invited me to join some skating group, and they're all rollerbladers, and they meet on a certain day, and blah blah blah. And he had this nice friendly dog. And so I text my friend, who is also a rollerblader, and I am a quad wheel skater, in case anyone's wondering. And but
right.
I keep up very well. And and she sent me a video immediately. She's like, Instagram sends right back to me, and I'm like, "That's them. That's the dog. I just met that dog." So like
a skating dog.
A skating, yeah.
I wonder if
the dog runs around. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the whole point is that there's all these groups of people who teach each other, help each other, and you don't necessarily have to pay to join such and such. There's tons of running groups. There's groups of people
wine tasting.
Yeah, dancing groups. Every time I walk by the courthouse, there are people dancing in this little stairwell. Right. Always. It's like this little sort of cool salsa dancing. Yeah. I've seen them do this hip hop dancing. It's super fun.
Yeah.
But there's always someone doing group dancing. And I'm pretty sure they're not like coming in and doing $20 drop-in fee. I think they're just doing
it for the love of it, right?
For the love of it. Yeah. So this is what we're saying. So this is a great outlet for that.
Yes.
You can be a mentor in something that you're already good at.
Yes.
And just use that to build a little community or to give back somehow.
Because as I said earlier, Chiron, it was the teacher.
Yeah.
He was the guy who taught you stuff. And we all have things that we could teach others.
Yeah.
Simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. We're not talking rocket science.
Yeah.
But there has to be something that you as an individual can teach someone and add value to their life as Chiron goes through Taurus.
Totally.
And whatever that is, as we talk here on our podcast about, this is clearly what we're saying, right?
Yeah. And this is another thing, which, about being women of a certain age or whatever. I can't tell you how many times we've mentioned Relish a few times or, whatever, like it's our little neighborhood pub. And there's tons of, young women and young men who are there. And my partner and I, we find ourselves
You haunt the place.
Yeah, we do. We practically live there. But we find ourselves embroiled in these deep conversations sometimes and giving real, life and death sort of advice to people. And, we are almost like
mentors.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think we come across as, they're always just absolutely flabbergasted to learn how old we are. And because we just don't look.
You don't seem it.
No, but
that's because you didn't have children.
Right. But now we have this entire community of.
Well, we even came up in the elevator tonight with a guy that you know from Relish.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, we're going to record a podcast." He's like, "What? About what?" And so I said,
"I know, right?
Go listen to it."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they will ask us for advice because, and maybe things that they wouldn't talk to their parents about. Yes. And some of them we are actually older than their parents, which is terrifying. But yeah, I've given parental advice to so many young people, and it's wonderful.
It's because you passed the Chiron return. You see, you are now the mentor.
Yeah.
And you don't have to shove it down people's throats. They do come to you.
They do. You'll just be sitting there having a drink, and someone will post up, and all of a sudden they're revealing some incredibly deep personal
issue
thing, and they're like, I'm thinking about moving back to whatever to help my mom, blah blah blah, or maybe they've got a pregnancy scare, or there's something with their boyfriend or something, or they're still living with their ex and
it's over
because it's over, but they can't move out because of the rent, and I hear all these things.
Wow.
I don't know how equipped I am to give great advice, but I obviously I'm doing something right if people are
even asking.
Even asking. Yeah. And that's the thing too. I think that's another lesson of Chiron is that you, especially in Taurus, you may not feel like an expert, but if people are coming to you,
you know something. We all know something.
We all have something that we can share and help others with. That is the lesson of Chiron. Even if you don't feel like you've earned it, and you don't have the degree, or you don't have the whatever.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Or disclaimer. Don't take this advice. It's blah blah blah. It's just for entertainment purposes, but you can help others.
I think so.
Don't be
afraid. I think Chiron is a tricky planet. It's not. It's not one of the main planets. It's a side issue.
Yeah.
But it's not a fun planet either.
The wounded healer. No.
It's the wounded healer. Yeah. And frequently with Chiron, if you get this wound, you can either let it scab over and then drop off and let it go, or you can pick, and this thing will never heal, and it keeps oozing, and you've got that kind of oozing wound. Sorry. And it depends
Where
on
are
your.
you going with this?
I know. The point being that Chiron itself, your Chiron,
Yeah.
even in your natal chart, will show the type of how you are approaching Chiron.
Yeah.
If today's topic sparked questions about your own chart, you can book a private consultation with me, Alison, at Starzology.com. In a one-to-one session, we will look at your natal chart and current transits with clarity and structure, so you leave with real insights and practical timing. Click the link in the show notes to book your session, and if you are ready for deeper answers, I would love to work with you.
Yeah, here I've got a great metaphor, or is it a simile? I don't know.
Okay.
So it's like if you've got a C-section scar.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you get a tattoo over it. This
Yeah.
is, Google this if you haven't, women out there, all the women out there, C-section tattoos,
Yes.
because that's just something that you have. It's like this unsightly whatever.
Yeah.
And tons of women get these beautiful tattoos right over where that scar would be. And it's
Right.
like, now you've turned it into something spectacular.
Yes, but that wound.
The wound.
Yes.
Exactly. That's scar tissue.
Yes.
And you can do that with any body part or any part
Any
of your
scars.
psyche.
If you've had, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the point.
Visible scars are more clearly visible, but we
Yeah.
all have those as well. I've got them, I mean, but
Yeah.
the inner scars too, that where you feel less than,
Yeah.
work on it, because
Turn
it
into
does
something
get
that can
better.
help others.
Yeah.
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 Turn it into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That really is the myth, well, the thing of Chiron, isn't it?
Totally.
To work it. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that came up in my conversation with Card ZB. Go listen to the podcast episode
Yes.
about that. We talked about the Saturn return, but
Yes.
but it was also very much about the bad things that you've been through, and the things that you came through and survived become the things that are your strengths.
Yes.
They become the things that people come to you as an
For.
expert. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, I was living in my car and I was, almost homeless, and I got evicted and blah, blah, blah. And I was at the worst of the, but that's almost like a built-in credibility then.
Yes.
Who wants to get advice from someone who's had it easy their entire life?
Yes.
Who just had
Yes.
everything handed
Yes.
to them. Like, oh, what do you know about anything?
Yeah. She gave such a dynamic interview about her mouse problems or whatever it was. Was it the cockroach?
Infested apartment
And yet she came through with her creativity through her cards that she created. And
totally
amazing, interesting.
Yeah.
So in general, when a planet moves into a new sign at an ingress, you want to understand how is this ingress period of 7 years as Chiron is in Taurus going to be different from last time it was, which was 50 odd years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the ingress chart, which is the exact moment that Chiron moved into Taurus, and the aspects that Chiron receives at that point.
Yeah.
So if we just cast that chart, and you can go through the blog post and pick it up, it's squaring Pluto at 5 degrees Aquarius, but it's also it's also squaring Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and the square to Pluto. So it's actually what it is. It's the apex planet of that T square.
Oh, that's crazy.
Of those 3 T squares, because you've got the Pluto Chiron Mercury, Pluto Chiron Jupiter, and the Pluto Chiron Venus, and so it's got 3 T squares to it, which absolutely dominate. And there is then a trine to the moon, which is just going to be overwhelmed.
Way to make an entrance, Chiron in Taurus. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so we've got this energy, and only the Venus T square is fixed. The Jupiter and the Mercury ones are actually in cardinal, so that's dissociate. But the point being, all of the energy of these 4 planets, Pluto, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury, are going to Chiron as it enters Taurus. So it's giving energy to Chiron.
Yeah.
So we could imagine that Chiron will be impactful once it's moving through Taurus. This is not a quiet slip. Let me just slip in the back door.
Right.
This is full-blown T-square, and we've got 3 of them.
It's almost like a Uranus ingress.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can assume that Chiron, as the wounded healer going into Taurus, is actually going to be effective.
Yeah.
We might not like it.
No, we're going to notice something around that ingress, June 19th, is it?
Yes. I think so.
We can expect to see things in the news about prices and food scarcity
and can you believe that this just happened, and so on.
Yeah.
So
wow.
the point is that there's going to be healing and wounding and healing, and then it will of course settle down.
Yeah.
But so there's it's quite a powerful ingress chart because of these 3 T-squares. You don't get that normally.
Yeah.
Normally it just slides in and you haven't even got an aspect to talk about.
Right.
So we've got that. And then, as I said, there is that trine to the moon, but really that is, you can dismiss that due to the presence of all these T-squares.
Yeah. The trine to the moon just reinforces that Taurus is a feminine planet. And, there's that feminine energy of the moon.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good going. And as Jupiter then moves into Leo, it will firm up that square. And we might be talking about that later or not. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. But definitely Chiron is at 0 degrees. Pluto is at 5. And we might be talking about as Chiron tightens that square to the 5 degrees at some point. We may or may not talk about that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the point is that the energy of Pluto, Venus and Jupiter and Mercury will flow towards Chiron to invigorate this planet in this ingress.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, this is the first ingress chart. It will go back into Aries, which is just by the by, and then it will finally come back into Taurus, and there will be a second ingress chart.
Yeah.
And that will be the one that is set for the period.
Right.
So this is a short-lived chart. Yeah. However, we're going to talk about it because it's the one we're dealing with.
For sure. Yeah. Interesting.
So that's there's a lot more that could be said about this, really.
Yeah. Is that ingress chart going to be up on the
yes, I will put the ingress chart on the
excellent. Yeah, so people can go and look at this amazing
on the blog post. Yeah, I'll put the
cluster of T-squares.
I'll put the Chiron ingress. Yeah, I'll mark it up higher and I'll put the ingress chart there. I might even also look at the second ingress chart if I'm sure I shall.
Yeah.
But so you see, so committed. You got Leo rising, and then you got this Uranus here, and the Chiron at the 10th. You're thinking, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do this, and I will do it. It's just I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So I'll get that out there. I haven't looked at that second ingress chart because we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. Exactly. No one's looking for that. No one needs to know exactly what that chart's going to look like in March,
next year, 2027.
Yeah. We'll deal with 2026 first, and then we'll move on to 2027.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whichever house the Chiron's in for you.
Yeah.
And these, of course, are because we're doing ascendants. It's technically, not equal house. It's 0 Aries. Yeah. And but it might be in a different house for you.
Right. For sure. Just look at wherever that is in your chart. If you, exactly. If you know where Taurus is in your chart, that's what matters.
Yeah.
And also, of course, if you have anything at the early degrees of Taurus or of Scorpio, because then it will be opposing.
Yes, you will get the hit. You will get the Chiron hit.
Some of us might have something in the early degrees of Scorpio.
Okay, then. Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, just look at where it makes aspects. It'll square, obviously, anything that's in
Leo or Aquarius. Yes,
exactly.
Yes. Yeah. But as the year unfolds and as Jupiter moves into position, that T-square is going to tighten up anyway, Pluto, Jupiter, Chiron, and we could have a look at that later on. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So if you are interested in Chiron, I have a great book to recommend. This is, it's a classic. It came out in the 90s, I believe, 1989, actually. And this is Chiron and the Healing Journey, an astrological and psychological perspective by Melanie Reinhardt.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really great book. It's very, anyone who gets this book will be like, oh, that's so Arwynne, because it is very, she's in the kind of the Liz Green, Howard Sisportis kind of mythological astrology.
I met her when I was in Oxford. Yeah.
She's a really intelligent writer. Yeah, well written, and you will definitely see a similarity with the Liz Green and that sort of because she talks about mythology. I mean, Chiron is a Greek mythological hero. So yeah,
that's great. So I'll put a link to that book also in the blog post for anyone who would be interested, because I think that is the final word on Chiron at the moment. I don't know any other Chiron books.
I mean, the tables of dates are a tiny bit outdated. Like you'll find 2000 is the last year that she talks about, because of course. But you can always find that online.
Oh yeah. But, or speak to your astrologer.
Of course, yeah. But it's just great, solid background information that'll give you a really good feeling. So if you feel like you're a Chironian person and you have Chiron prominently in your chart, or you just are really interested in exploring the kind of the outer planets, and this is kind of a dark horse outer planet. No pun intended. Dark horse Centaur. So highly recommend.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we have been talking about Chiron moving into Taurus. This is happening in June 2026. It's going to be there for around 7 years. We've also spoke about some of the themes of Chiron, and we've also given you some ideas about each ascendant sign and how this may affect you. Of course, you do have to double check everything and look at your own chart to see which house Chiron's actually in anyway. And if you have found value in this episode, please do consider sharing it with anybody who'd be interested. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to give us a like and follow us there. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure to give us a 5-star review. We do appreciate it. Arwynne and I put all our love and energy into these episodes. Yes. Make sure you're getting our newsletter, and you can sign up at starzology.com/newsletter. And then additionally, make sure you're getting Arwynne's newsletter, and you can find Arwynne at...
I'm at mspink.net, MSPINK, and you can find my newsletter coming out every Saturday.
And very interesting it is too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Arwynne, thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast.
Thank you, Alison.
And to our listeners, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the two main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer, or someone who's learning astrology, or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from Starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.